and welcome to another episode of the Intellectual Saviors of Wrestling with your hosts, the Master of the Brain Damage,
Martin,
and the one and only Sam H. And this is episode 3 of the Recycle Bin, focusing on the career and repackagings of certain superstars in history. And this week we're focusing on a guy who's still relatively young in wrestling terms, Sean Waltman.
most popularly known by most WWE fans as 1-2-3 Kid or X-Pac.
Yeah, been around a long time.
Yeah, I think he started fairly young. I think he was something crazy, like 15 or 16 when he broke through into the WWE.
Yeah, sounds about right. I mean, he came into the Federation at the time in the early 90s.
Yeah, we went there, WWE. You were WWF at one point before you started stealing from the animal company.
I don't care if the pandas have a problem with us using it, they can bite me.
Yeah, let's start off on the history of Sean Waltman, where despite what most people remember, he actually came into the company firstly known as the Lightning Kid.
Well, the Lightning Kid.
And he had a tryout in Phoenix, Arizona, the day after WrestleMania, all the way back in 1993.
Ooh, that would have been WrestleMania 9.
Yeah, and he had a match against a fellow tryout guy, hoping to get into the company. For anyone who remembers the random wrestlers and whatnot, he fought Louis Spicolli, who would later be known as Rad Radford, in that match.
I have no idea who that is.
No. So, yeah. Through that match, Sean ended up earning himself a contract when he made his TV debut on 3rd of May on Monday Night Raw. He was known as the Kamikaze Kid, and he fought Doink the Clown.
Oh, God. Wow, what a debut.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Sean, he ended up losing that match. And then, very quickly, without going too much into it, we'll quickly run through this, but he then got quickly known as the Cannonball Kid.
Wow.
Several weeks he got booked as a jobber, just losing to guys. And then the match everyone remembers.
Even I remember this one.
His infamous fight against Razor Ramon.
You see, I actually remember this match. I was watching Raw. I actually watched this one live because everyone was a big Razor Ramon fan back in the early 90s. He was just, so cool the way he did things. And when this kid came out, you were like, well, good luck, kid. You're about to get your ass kicked.
Yeah, that was pretty much the concept when you were fighting Razor Ramon back in them days.
But watching him, he had some great moves. He was really athletic. And a lot of people were cheering for him in this match.
Yeah, as I say, he was really agile, and he had a bit of the high-flying ability to his repertoire. And yeah, he ended up scoring a huge upset and defeating Razor Ramon. And then after that match, he would very quickly become known as the 1-2-3 Kid.
Yeah.
Which was arguably, you could say, his second most popular gimmick.
Yeah, I still remember his music. He goes 1, 2, 3. And he had this amazing match with Owen Hart at King of the Ring of that year. I mean, it was back then. You could tell how good he was.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it wasn't a workout on this occasion, and not quite sure on the time scale. But a little while after, he got released.
Yeah, I'm not too sure why. I think he was involved in the whole Kevin Nash and Scott all leaving thing.
Yeah, of course, the Click.
Curtain call. I'm not sure if he was always his intention to leave, whether he got fired, but I know he got a lot of heat for it. and he defected to WCW with the other two.
Yep, and when he came into it, he would be known as Six.
Six.
Not how you typically spell the number. SYXX.
I'm pretty sure, didn't he join the NWO?
He did. I think they tried to technically class him as a sort of one of the original members. If you remember later on in history when the NWO made their return in the early 2000s, he was part of that original team that joined.
Yeah, I was thinking back to it. It was probably shortly after Scott Hall had been released. They brought in X-Pac again for that run of the NWO.
Yeah. He done all right. I mean, the NWO was the NWO, but unfortunately for most of the members in that group, the only ones the fans ever really concentrated on was Hogan and Hall and Nash.
The original three.
Yeah.
Yeah, his time in WCW wasn't great. Bischoff wasn't a fan of him. He said he was a good worker when he was sober.
Yeah.
But finding times when he was sober were few and far between.
Yeah.
And I think he was injured a lot as well.
Yeah, I don't believe he had any title success in WCW.
No, I don't remember. No, actually, I think he won the WCW Cruiserweight title.
Oh, okay.
Or that might have been in the Invasion period, though. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. Well, either way, he won the Cruiserweight title.
Yeah, it still counts, I think.
Yeah. So, he'd spend a few years in WCW as a part of the NWO. And then a few years down the line, I'm not sure if it was slightly inspired and instigated by a certain now WWE COO, but yeah, the WWE decided to bring back Sean Waltman, and he became a member of the new DX, and he came in as X-Pac.
Yep, this was the night after WrestleMania 14. Shawn Michaels went down with a back injury, had to leave for surgery. And Triple H went to reform in DX.
Yep.
And he did that famous promo where he said, if you want to build an army, you look to the Click.
Yep.
And out came X-Pac back in. And he gave a few shots to WCW on air. Mocked Hogan. Well, who hasn't?
Yeah, but then back then, I think it was sort of about time that WWE had started parting a few shots to WCW's ways, because WCW had been saying an awful lot about WWE at the time. I mean, obviously, probably the most famous one that people remember was obviously when Alundra Blaze went to WCW, and she famously chucked the WWE's women's title in the trash can and basically said it was worthless.
Yeah. They referenced that in her Hall of Fame thing, where she took the belt out of the bin.
Yeah.
And said it was back where it belonged.
Yeah. Nice recovery.
Yeah. But no, this was X-Pac's greatest period of his career.
Yeah.
I mean, he had stellar matches with a lot of people, and won most of his titles during this run.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, being part of DX, he was part of a lot of very famous angles. Obviously, you had the invasion of Monday Nitro.
Yep, with the tank.
And one of the great comedy sketches you had at the time, DX versus the Nation of Domination.
That was good.
And DX came out dressed up as the Nation, and I don't think anyone will ever forget X-Pac dressed up as Mizark Henry.
Mizark. That was good. Oh, I laughed so much at that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just pure comedy gold. And let's not forget as well, Didn't they have that comedian with him as well, and he was dressed up as Owen Hart?
Yeah, Jason Sensation.
That's the very one.
He mocked Owen Hart. He ended up being put in the sharpshooter by Owen Hart.
Yeah, but Owen didn't take that too kindly.
Oh, he got a lot of bad shots in there. About his attire and the size of his nose.
Yeah. Yeah, and then safe. He went on to win the European title. I mean, my first ever actually staying up late and watching WrestleMania live was WrestleMania 15, and one of the matches I always remember from that event was the surprisingly really grueling and entertaining rivalry between himself and Shane McMahon for the European title.
Yeah, I mean, Shane McMahon, even back then, well, he worked at it. He said if he was going to wrestle, he wasn't going to go in half-assed.
No.
He knew what he was doing.
No, that's it. And then plus as well, it led to the very famous breakup of DX when Triple H in China turned on DX at the end of the match.
Yeah.
Costing X-Pac the title. And then the New Age Outlaws came out, tried to defend their buddy. They ended up just getting taken out by Triple H.
I mean, that didn't last very long. I think DX were back together by the end of that year.
Pretty much. Well, it was when we had Triple H briefly as a member of the corporation.
Yeah. No, X-Pac, for the next couple of years, I think he tag with Road Dogg after Billy Gunn went down with the injury?
Yeah, I remember that. And then...
Because they had a rivalry with the Dudley Boys.
They did, yeah. And then, obviously, later on towards the end of the year when DX made their reunion and that, then we had X-Pac's most famous tag team, very unlikely partner in Kane.
Yeah, wasn't he the first guy to get Kane to talk?
I believe so. And didn't he have that stupid voice mic thing as well?
Yeah, the voice box.
Yeah, that's the one. Just reminds me of that random guy from South Park, though.
Oh, God.
I can't remember his name. All I know was it was Stan's uncle's best friend or whatever.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, and then at the time as well, let's not forget another semi-famous member of DX at that point. X-Pac also had sort of his manager / sort of girlfriend, Tori.
Yeah, she was around for about a year or so.
Yeah, so Kane and X-Pac had a quite successful time together tagging. They won the tag titles twice.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So yeah, but unfortunately for X-Pac in the end, Kane did end up turning on him, and I believe also he, or was it the other way around?
Yeah,
actually?
I think X-Pac turned on him because originally Tori was Kane's girlfriend.
That's right.
And then she turned on him to join X-Pac.
Yeah, that's right. My bad.
It is a complicated storyline, even back then.
Yeah.
But no, that didn't really last all that long, up until WrestleMania 16, I believe. And then they sort of went on to their rivalry with the Dudley Boys, resulting in the infamous 3-on-2 table dumpster match at King of the Ring 2000.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you don't forget that. And then, while after that, did DX sort of technically disband again?
Yeah, I think it was near the end of 2000.
Yeah, and then
Billy Gunn was out injured. Road Dogg was teaming with K-Quick.
Sheesh. Yeah, and then then we had everyone's favourite X-Pac.
Oh, Christ.
Faction, the X Factor. X-Pac, just incredible, and Albert.
This faction did not last at all.
No, and well, we highlighted in Albert's how horrendous the theme song was. So don't worry, we're not going to punish you and make you sit through it again.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, and then I think whilst he was part of the X Factor faction, didn't he have a cruiserweight or light heavyweight title run in this?
He did.
Time as well.
He won the light heavyweight title, and I can't remember if it was SummerSlam 2001 or the Invasion 2001. He won the WCW Cruiserweight title as well. He was one of the only guys to hold both titles at the same time.
Am I right in thinking they possibly Billy Kidman he beat?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah. Back then, when they were doing the whole Invasion angle, well, they very much put over, Billy Kidman was, the cruiserweight guy.
He was great.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kudos to him that he's actually still with the company, even despite all the issues and whatnot during his career.
Now, I'm not sure if it was drug related or injury related, but shortly after SummerSlam 2001, X-Pac vanished from the company with the light heavyweight title, and he wasn't seen again in quite a few years.
Yeah.
Not sure why.
No. And then I don't think he ended up going back to WWE. We got the pleasure of seeing him in a certain Florida-based company.
Yeah, joined TNA.
Yeah, they got around his name rights by calling him Six-Pac.
Yep. And he wasn't in the NWO, it was called The Band.
Another great TNA invention.
It was the same NWO logo though, it was the white square and it just said The Band.
Inventive as always.
Yeah. But it didn't really last there either. He was supposed to be in a tag match with Scott Hall, no showed. He was drunk or high or both.
Yeah, and then well, we'll touch on this subject very lightly, but probably around the same time, didn't we have the infamous One Night in China video?
Oh yes, yeah, that came out around that time.
Yeah, yeah. Find out for yourself about that one.
Yeah, I'm not even going to go into it. I'm just, in fact, don't look it up. It's one of those things that you see it, you can't unsee it. Just,
yeah, true.
If you're curious, get a friend to watch it and then tell them to explain it to you. Oh.
So yeah, we had that, and yeah, not long after I believe he got released or left TNA.
One or two.
And unfortunately, he went down quite a bit of a rocky road and had a number of drug and alcohol related issues. But I'll give WWE their dues where it is due. They do look after their former wrestlers and apparently his bills for rehab and whatnot were higher than Scott Hall's.
That's impressive.
Yeah, just a tad.
But no, I think I'm happy to say now that he's pretty clean.
Yeah, he's looking a lot healthier.
I mean, he's been back in the company a few times now. I think he works backstage now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he was part of the Angle year or two back at WrestleMania with Sting versus Triple H. And
yeah,
he come out as a part of DX.
It was good to see him at a WrestleMania again.
Yeah. And then obviously he's been involved when they've been doing the various bits and pieces with the network and television to do with the Click.
Yeah, he was on the Raw 1000 with the DX reunion.
Yep. Yeah, we're happy to report that he's doing a lot better now.
But one other thing I'd like to mention, a few years ago when he tried doing the Bronco Buster, and he busted his anus.
Oh,
I mean, you can look that up. I shouldn't laugh, but it is hilarious.
Yeah, it was at a independent show, I believe. No one really of great noteworthy that he's wrestling for, and yeah, you see it. It doesn't look good, and then, well, it's all clear to see on there, and then I think the referee even turns around and says, "Are you okay?" He's like, "No, I've ripped my ass."
He's ripped his up. I can't remember if it was that match or one of the other matches he was in, but there was a loud chant of "busted anus."
Yeah, I think it might have been one after.
But it's just hilarious just seeing him in the corner, not moving. He's like, no, I can't do it anymore.
Oh dear.
But no, he's in good health now, and well, I think I'm not going to be surprised to say I think he's going to be in the Hall of Fame in the next couple of years.
Yeah, yeah, I'd certainly say he deserves it, given his history in the company, and he has had quite a bit of success. I mean, and let's be frank, there's people in the Hall of Fame who have had a lot less success than he has, and they're in it.
Yeah, I mean, he's won the tag titles as the 1-2-3 Kid and as X-Pac.
Yep.
As well as the European and the light heavyweight.
And the cruiserweight.
So, while not exactly a stellar career, I mean, he's won titles in every company he's been in, I think.
Yeah. Pretty much, with the exception of NXT, no, TNA. But then again, I think he had a lot of ongoing issues in his personal life.
No, I actually think he won one in TNA. He might have been X Division champion at least once.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, I'll have to look that one up at some point.
But yeah, I think that about wraps it up for Sean Waltman's career.
Yep.
So, from your hosts, the Master of the Brain Damage,
I've been Martin.
and the one and only Sam H, we will see you on the next one. Arrivederci.